Hello, this is Headlines Nigeria on Internet Television International ITI. From our Abuja studios in Nigeria, I am Rachel Owa with summaries of news, politics, business and sport from our national dailies. From the Daily Independent newspaper, Bill advocates joint administration of prisons. The Senate Committee on Interior is currently considering a bill to provide for the creation of a joint scheme for the running of prisons across the country. Although some senators questioned the workability of the proposal on Tuesday, stakeholders agreed on the need to find alternative funding for the prisons since it was no longer possible for the federal government to solely fund the prisons. From this same newspaper, Shake Up, Looms and INEC. It has this rider, Senate confirms 2 more board members. A major organization is underway at the Independent National Electoral Commission INEC as the Commission's chairman, Professor Atahiru Jega, and his national commissioners hold a crucial meeting tomorrow in Calabar, Cross River State, to reposition the body ahead of the 2011 polls. In the meantime, the Senate yesterday confirmed 2 more nominees for appointment as INEC national commissioners. They are Dr. Abdul Qadir Suleiman from Kwara State and Hajia Amina Bala Zakari from Jigawa State. Kidnap saga. IG issues 24-hour ultimatum. It has this rider, journalist abductors insist on 250 million naira. The Inspector General of Police, Ogbonna Onovo, yesterday gave kidnappers that abducted 4 journalists 24 hours to release them or face dark consequences. The journalists are being held at an unknown destination in Abia State. The kidnappers are still demanding the sum of 250 million as ransom. From this same newspaper, federal government to sponsor 13,000 ex-militants to tertiary institutions. No fewer than 13,000 ex-militants would be sponsored by the federal government through the Ministry of the Niger Delta Affairs to various tertiary institutions both in Nigeria and abroad in pursuance of the post-amnesty program of the federal government. From the same paper, JAM, no admission for 366,000 successful candidates. Registrar of the Joint Admission and Matriculation Board, JAM, Professor Dibo Jerinde, has said that 366,000 out of the 867,000 candidates who made cut-off points of 108 and above in the recent Unified Tertiary Matriculation Examinations would not be admitted in the nation's tertiary institution because of lack of sufficient places. From Vanguard newspaper, Minister condemns attitude of health workers. The federal government on Tuesday blamed the poor state of the National Hospital Abuja on attitudinal problems amongst the staff of the health institution. The Minister of State for Health, Alhaji Suleiman Bello, who disclosed this in Lagos, said the attitude of the workers has left the hospital in shambles. NASU accuses government of hike in tax deductions. Non-Academic Staff Union of Educational and Associated Institutions, NASU, has accused some state governments of outrageous hike in pay-as-you-earn tax deductions in their bid to make up for the shortfall in monthly allocations. Pensioners cripple activities in Bauchi over arrears. Commission activities yesterday came to a standstill in Bauchi as over 100 pensioners of Nigerian Postal Service NIPOST took to the streets to embark on what they termed a peaceful demonstration over non-payment of their pension for the last 4 years. They call on the management of the organization to do something to save them from further sufferings, stressing that so far 179 pensioners and members of their families have died while waiting for their entitlements. And in politics, Tribune newspaper has this caption, 2011, stay away from presidency, NDP counsels Jonathan. The National Democratic Party, NDP, rose from its National Working Committee meeting on Tuesday, admonishing President Goodluck Jonathan to stay off presidential contest in 2011 for many reasons. The party said the style of leadership Jonathan has put up so far had shown that he lacked the capacity and the strong will to rule Nigeria effectively. 1 killed, 6 injured as anti-Jonathan rally turns sour. A rally organized by the Bauchi State chapter of the Arewa Youth Development Foundation to protest against the call that President Goodluck Jonathan should contest for presidency in 2011 on Tuesday turned sour as 1 person has been reported dead, while 6 others were injured. The AYDF had vowed to ensure that selfish politicians, especially those from the north, who were bent on seeing that President Jonathan contested the 2011 presidential election, were not successful. From the same paper, politicians hailed Nwodo over resolve to free PDP from bondage. Commendations came the way of the national chairman of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, Dr. Okwezilieze Nwodo, on Tuesday, following his declaration that the party was in chains. Party members, especially in Abeokuta, remote areas, and other parts of Ogun State, were also in a jubilant mood over the declaration of the PDP chairman. From Vanguard newspaper 2011, ACF scribe resigns over support for Jonathan. Secretary, Political Committee of Arewa Consultative Forum, ACF, Alhaji Abdulrahman Muhammad, has been forced to resign his position following his insistence that President Goodluck Jonathan should contest the 2011 elections. Muhammad was asked to resign or face impeachment following his advice to former military presidents not to waste their time in the election because their political shelf lives have expired. And in Business Day newspaper has this: federal government set to raise 105 billion naira to finance budget deficit through sovereign bonds. The federal government has concluded plans to raise 105 billion naira, its seventh debt auction this year, to finance gaps in the 2010 budget. The Debt Management Office DMO said it would sell 35 billion naira each in the 3-year, 5-year and 20-year sovereign bonds. And in Vanguard newspaper, 450 billion naira debt, NNPC says it's insolvent, says Babalola. The Nigeria National Petroleum Corporation, NNPC, said yesterday it was unable to pay the 450 billion naira it owed the Federation account, stating insolvency as reason. The corporation stated its position in a letter to the Federation Account Allocation Commission, FAC, which was read by Chairman of the Commission and Minister of State for Finance, Mr. Remi Babalola, at the FAC meeting. NNPC denies 450 billion naira debt to government. The Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, NNPC, has denied ever owing the 3 tiers of government 450 billion naira as being orchestrated by the government. NNPC's Group Public Relations Manager, Dr. Levi Ajonuma, who disclosed this yesterday, said that the 3 tiers of government rather owed the corporation about 1.156 trillion naira. And in sport, Falconets hope to break jinx with the rider face England today. That is it on Tribune Sport. The Falconets of Nigeria will today face England in the opening Group C match of the FIFA Under-20 Women's World Cup, which kicked off on Tuesday in Germany. FIFA ranked Nigeria 27th best team in South Africa. Nigeria's performance at the just-ended World Cup has been reflected in the ranking of all the teams that participated at the Mundial by FIFA. In the release by the World Football Governing Body, Nigeria came a distant 27th position out of the 32 teams that participated. From the Guardian newspaper, ITTF picked Nigeria, Congo-Brazzaville for World Team Cup. The performance of Nigeria's men team at the last World Team Championship in Moscow, Russia, has started yielding dividends as the International Table Tennis Federation, ITTF, has chosen Nigeria and Congo-Brazzaville as the continent's representatives at this year's World Team Cup in Dubai. And in Tribune Sports, impeachment, I deserved fair hearing, Ogunjobi. Erstwhile Chairman, Technical Committee of the Nigeria Football Federation, NFF, Chief Taiwo Ogunjobi, has described his impeachment by the board as illegal, saying it never followed due process. Ogunjobi, who is also the chairman of Osun State Football Association, stated that the allegation of fraud was unfounded. That's the package today on Headlines Nigeria. Thank you for logging on.